What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here, bringing you some more Series 12 Wi-Fi battles with live commentary. For one last time, we are taking the Zoopals out for a run during the Rose Tower Open. We've had some good success, some mixed success with it so far, and hoping that we can kind of end things out on a strong note. Definitely make sure to check out my 5 rental teams video for the month if you haven't already. It has the updated pace for this team, as well as a bunch of other really cool teams that I think people are going to enjoy. So let's hop right into this and see what my opponent is bringing. And it looks like, indeed, oh wow, hard trick room. So Indeedee, Calyrex, Ensign with Aleki, a Clops, and a Ogre. So Ferrothorn is a must here. I 100% need Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn Zacian. Ferrothorn Zacian is really good if they lead Indeedee. I don't think they're going to lead Indeedee because of the fact that they have spread moves. Let's bring out Ensign, Kyogre, Zacian. Let's try that. Ensign, Pharaoh, Ogre. Because they could also just say, you know what, screw it, I'm going to lead Aleki. That is definitely something to consider. This is a really interesting team, though, because I like the idea of Cali Ogre, so I'm interested to see how someone pilots it. So we are going to see Indeedee Clops. Indeedee Clops is good here, so lead of Clops. And Indeedee, I really wish I had led Zacian, because then we could have, what's it called? We could have set up accordingly. Are you Psychic Seed? You're gonna frisk, you're gonna find my items. I'm gonna go just straight for a knockoff onto Dusclops, as well as a parting shot. Let's do that. We're gonna knock off a Focus Sash. The thing is, I don't want to give you necessarily a free switch into your Calyrex. So what I can do is I can bring out Zacian and I can set up Substitute. I know it's a little less than ideal. We're gonna see the Indeedee just straight switch into Calyrex in the back. So this is a pretty good position to be in, right? As we're going to be able to fire off a parting shot and get rid of the item on... Oh, we did it into Dusclops. God, imagine if we had done that into Indeedee, how cool that would have been. That lets me bring out Zacian. And then what happens is we're probably going to see a Trick Room. But what's really helpful here... God, I really wish I had parting shot it into Calyrex. This would have been a completely different game. As Knockoff going to come out onto Dusclops, which is great. We're going to get rid of that Violite and really weaken the damage that this Dusclops can go for. So we are going to see the Trigger Room come up. I would like to, at this point, go for a Steel Spike onto the Dusclops. And I want to protect Zacian. I think it makes sense to try and stall out as much of this Calyrex as possible. What is going to be a little bit awkward is we aren't going to get the defense boost onto Ensign. We could have had Ensign at +2, but I think it makes more sense to do it this way, just because we work to stall out as many turns as possible. And I'm hoping without the Violite that Dusclops goes down to a Steel Spike, because that would make things really helpful, as we are going to see, Calyrex is going to get really big. We can just try and outbulk with Dusclops as much as possible. I mean, not with Dusclops, with Ferrothorn as much as possible. And we do have the ability to cycle out some Intimidates. So that'll be really helpful. Like I said, we just want to make sure to preserve our Ferrothorn for the end game, as we are going to get a Protect Off. Show me the Shadow Sneak. Yep, self Shadow Sneak into Calyrex, which is fine with me. You are only going to... Oh, you're still at +2 right now. That's right. I haven't fired off anything right now. So into Dusclops. Good damage. Not unfortunately enough for the knockout. But let's see what's going to happen here. We should see a Quake come out. Yep, into our Zacian. So Zacian, that's through a Protect and at +1. So that's definitely a little scary for sure. But all things considered, we do have the ability at this point. You're getting special defense boost, which I don't like. Go for another hit into Dusclops and bring out the Ensign. We are Shookaberry too, so that should really help, right? As we will be able to start just dealing out some damage. We are going to see an Ensign of theirs come out. So that is very good to know. The tricky part here is I do want to bring out my Kyogre because of the fact that, what's it called? I need to protect my Ensign. So because we switched, I don't know whose Ensign is slower or faster. So that's going to be really tricky here. I could chance it just given the fact that I am at +2 defense, right? I could say I'm going to Parting Shot into your Calyrex anyway and see what happens, because I mean, that's a big risk, because if you oh, haha, Shookaberry doesn't matter. That's right. We saw Ensign. We know Calyrex is in the back. I want to sacrifice Zacian. Your weakness policy is already triggered. Why am I attacking into the other slot? That's stupid. I did that wrong because I wanted to sacrifice Zacian. Now I'm not going to do that. But let's look at this, right? There is 2 turns of Trick Room left. We go for a Steel Spike onto the correct target. Go for a Protect here. We sacrifice Zacian for the last turn of Trick Room to bring out Kyogre. Right? We're gonna see a Steel Spike. So this is +3. I know that like this is gonna be stab super effective ×4, but like I kind of need to hope. You should see a Flare Blitz onto... We're going to see a Hailstorm come out into Calyrex, or into Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn should take this well. That is not well. That is really not well. Overheat? I'm sorry, what? Overheat is apparently new Ensign tech. We can okay, so we body press into the Ensign now to get rid of it. We can go for a Protect again. So that's okay. So that's what we do. We body press the Ensign. We get a double Protect. That will let us Blade into Calyrex if we get it. Overheat is terrifying. I didn't know that that was a thing, but apparently it is. So, cool. Oh, it's Indeedee and Dusclops in the back. Wait, I know what your back Pokemon are. So it's not even... I mean, it's pretty bad if we lose Kyogre, or if we lose Zacian. Body Press, though, should be enough to KO Ensign. We are going to see it swap. This should be... Indeedee. Okay, Indeedee is fine. Indeedee is totally fine with me, because you should KO my Calyrex at this point. I needed you to do more. Why do you have Seed Bomb? Okay. So you are going to set up Trick Room, right? I would like to body press your Indeedee, and substitute is going to be real close. We're losing about 50, but I need to substitute here to be able to deal with this Calyrex. Yeah, this is my best bet. We should see a follow me Trick Room. Yeah, we're gonna see the follow me. We are going to set up. Yeah, this is really good for. Yeah, that's real close. That is down to the wire. We're going to be able to fire off a body press, so this is indicative of Trick Room. Perfect. I should also write down Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb. TR, Glacial, and... Oh, you don't have Protect. That's important. We took 12 damage, so we have 2 more turns with Zacian. We can body press into Incin very freely because we don't have anything to worry about. We do have to worry about a crit, but that's not a big deal. So we can click body press here and then go for a Behemoth onto Calyrex. So crit actually is a big deal. Calyrex is scary, and the second Trick Room is also very scary. But Ferrothorn in, I think, really good shape here, right? If you go for a Fake Out, not a big deal. I kind of want to lead Calyrex. Okay, so perfect. Body Press going to come out onto Incin. Going to get a clean knockout here. We should see... What? We should see a Glacial Lance come out. Makes sense. Break my Substitute, but we have access to... Was that a crit? Did you just... Oh my god, that's so bad. That's so bad. That's only so bad if we don't get the knockout with Blade, but we're at +1. Okay, thank goodness. And now, okay, it's Dusclops. It is Dusclops without a Violite, so we can go for a, what's it called? A Water Spout pretty freely. Between Water Spout and Behemoth Blade, we should be able to wrap this up. That crit was terrifying. Oh yeah, Dusclops is super low. You do know about my Choice Scarf though, so that is a little unfortunate, but I don't think it's necessarily the end of the world. I'm fine to click Water Spout. I'm fine to go for a Behemoth Blade. You can only target one, and it looks like cool. So we are going to be able to wrap up game number 1. The question now is, what adjustments do we make? I think what we have to stick with Ferrothorn for sure. Ferrothorn undoubtedly the MVP here. We could do Kyogre Ferrothorn, Incin Zacian. Let's do that, right? Ogre, Pharaoh, Incin, Zacian. This way we have access to switch in Incin versus Calyrex. If they lead the same way they did last time, we do have the ability just to, we can get rid of the Indeedee immediately, which is really helpful. We do unfortunately have to deal with the fact that Calyrex is going to get a boost, but I think we're fine. A Regieleki switch would be horrifying. If you lead Regieleki, I do not have a counterplay to that. Yeah, if you lead Aleki and max it, I don't have a counterplay. Which is tricky. There's no way that I can account for... I can't account for Indeedee, Regieleki, and everything else. I mean, I could have done Kingdra Kyogre. Kingdra Kyogre isn't terrible because it lets me double spread move. So that's something to consider game 3, depending on if we see any sort of adjustment in game 2. So let's go from that. I hope it's not a Lucky, because I mean, like, Ferrothorn also just matches so well into it. We're gonna see Instant Dusclops. Okay, that's fine with me. Lead with Incin. So lead. I think you expect... Do I call that you're going to say, I'm going to max Ferrothorn? This is like a really big risk. Like if I get this wrong, I lose. If you fake out into Ferrothorn, I lose the game. Which I think is fine. I already won game 1. I can afford to lead a little bit aggressively game 2. And I think that this is a good adjustment, right? Because if we stop you from setting up, right? Like we stop your Trick Room from going up, and we stop your weakness policy trigger, unless you go for like an overheat. So we do have just the ability to put on a ton of pressure. We know that this Calyrex doesn't have Trick Room. I mean, not Trick Room, have Protect. So that's just another huge source of damage coming out. Fake out into Ogre. Perfect. Okay, great. Guys are going to come out. This should absolutely decimate this Dusclops. Oh, boy, that is bad. Please KO. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That is... Lives Geyser plus... Lives Geyser plus knockoff. We can now Geyser into the Ensign slot and go for a knockoff once again onto the Dusclops slot. We are going to see... Oh, that's bad. Oh, Indeedee is fine. Indeedee is fine. I can work with that. Indeedee is going to lose its item. Kyogre... okay, so it's the same 4 as last time. Knockoff going to come out onto the Indeedee. Going to do a pretty decent chunk. We're going to get rid of Goggles. Good to know. Parting Shot going to come out. So here's the thing, right? If I can stall out Trick Room and get Kyogre in at the right time, we're in really good shape. We are going to see Dusclops come out. So that's actually fine with me, as it means that... right, we can get rid of your ability to... Yeah, this is actually a really big deal, right? You don't have any way to set up your own weakness policy at this point, unless you want to overheat, which you cannot do with Indeedee. Okay, that's good. You cannot... Yes, perfect. You cannot do that with Indeedee. So what we can do is... I'm definitely not going to go for... anything. We can go for a Geyser. Okay, so you're probably... Let's think about this. You're probably going to Geyser and then Quake my Ferrothorn. Or you could Seed Bomb. So let's do this. Let's bring out Ensign. So we do need to worry about Trick Room turns a little bit. But we're in good shape. There is the Indeedee. The Indeedee came out after Trick Room, which means that we will have access to... protection from Fake Out once the Trick Room has ended. So that's hopeful. We do, like I said, need to make sure that we are preserving accordingly. We could see a Quake come out with the idea that you have Indeedee survive. Ferrothorn going to come out here. Yeah, I mean, I need to bring this to a game 3, otherwise I'm in bad shape. I'm so annoyed that Dusclops survived. Because if it hadn't, this would have been a much different game. You should max Quake. You should yeah, the correct play is to max Quake and follow me. Because that way your Indeedee is in the best shape possible. We need to... Oh, are you Helping Hand? That's an option. If we KO Indeedee, though... Oh, wow! That's a very big deal. That is huge. We survive. That is great. I don't think we KO Indeedee... Or not Indeedee. Yeah, I don't think we KO Indeedee, which is in... Oh, we targeted Calyrex. That was a bad play. That was a really bad play. We go for an Origin Pulse, and we swap into Ferrothorn. Yeah, this is what we want to do. I think, in all honesty, it was fine to have let the Trick Room go up. It's fine. Yeah, I just want to max too many things, which is tricky. We're gonna get Ferrothorn out, so we should be able to. You could go for a max Grass, max Quake. Gonna come out into probably Ferrothorn. Yep, into Ferrothorn. Gonna do pretty much nothing. Big question I have to see, though, is how many turns of Trick Room are left. I don't want to trigger the weakness policy on Ferrothorn. We're going to see an Expanding Force, so I think that that's fine. Kyogre takes a Schmeege. Origin Pulse going to come out. Good damage onto the Indeedee. There is 1 turn left of Trick Room, so I want to bring out Ensign here and go for a Body Press onto the Indeedee. Yeah, let's do that. You should pick up a knockout onto Ensign. Worst case, we Parting Shot you. Yeah, worst case, we can Parting Shot you and bring out our something. I don't know. We're gonna see Indeedee go for a Protect, so I think that that was smart. We're gonna go for a Body Press. We should. I'm hoping to see a Quake come out into Ensign. This might go into Ferrothorn. Into Ferrothorn, which is a little tricky for sure, but we have the ability to Parting Shot and just keep putting pressure onto the Calyrex slot, right? Because now your max is over, which is a really big deal, and you're super, super neutralized. So what we can actually do is double up the Indeedee. Or do we Parting Shot? I'd rather Parting Shot. Let's go for a Parting Shot onto Calyrex and go for a Body Press onto the Indeedee. Ferrothorn has the advantage. Okay, cool. Okay, that's a really big deal. Because your Ensign's going to come out. Your Ensign's going to take a lot from the Body Press. And that's going to also significantly neutralize your Calyrex. To the point where we can... I don't... Zacian's probably a bad bring. I have to bring out Zacian here. So I'm going to bring out Zacian. You're going to set up a Trick Room as we Body Press into the Ensign. We could see a Calyrex swap out, which is not unheard of. Oh, you just straight Glacial Lanced? Okay. That's fine with me. Body Press going to come out into Ensign. Going to do a significant chunk to the point where I'm willing to just double it up. I'm willing to say Sacred Sword and Body Press here. I could have switched into Ogre, but that's just a little... I don't think it's necessary. Because if you're going for an attack, it's not going to do anything. We still have to KO this Calyrex at some point. I would just like to remind myself of that fact, that it is still alive. And as much fun as it is to just keep firing off Intimidates and stuff, like, it still is alive. So we're going to see the Fake Out come out onto the Zacian. That's fine. We're going to fire off a Body Press onto Ensign. And let's see here, right? You have to, if you set up Trick Room, okay, so you set up Trick Room here. So what we do is we bring out our Ensign and we Body Press, or we can, we can just do this. There's no counterplay to Behemoth Blade and Body Press into the Ensign, because if you swap into Indeedee, we get the KO that way. Right? Glacial Lance will not... Glacial Lance should not pick up the knockout, barring crit on Ferrothorn. We're going to see instant withdraw. That's fine. Indeedee comes out, so I'm guessing you were expecting a switch, as Body Press should put us in really good shape. So let's see here. Like I said, you need a crit Glacial Lance to get the win, as good damage comes out. We're going to see a high horsepower into the Zacian slot. Yeah, it looks like no crit, so we can go for the safe Behemoth Blade. And at this point, like, I am feeling pretty good about things. Yeah, it looks like my opponent is messaging me. Because, yeah, at this point, we can just keep putting on some constant pressure. I do obviously just want to finish off the set for the sake of stuff can happen, but it was really cool to have this game. Definitely shout out to my opponent. It was a very tricky match. I definitely felt like I was on the back foot a lot of the time. But yeah, once Trick Room expires, we bring out Kyogre and we're able to wrap it up. So super great set of matches. Zoopals, I'm glad that they are doing really well. And yeah, with that, until next time, I hope all of you are wonderful, and I'll see you then.